'cause I heard somebody say it's going final. Burn that mother down, y'all. It's going final, yeah. Mother down.
Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 533rd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Just to say this battle was fought on a custom map, and also to say this is the first time that I've ever put a battle like this on our YouTube channel. This is a Barbarian versus Barbarian battle. And as I say, out of 533 battle videos, this is the first battle of this type I've put on. Okay, our first teammate is Spartan Leonidas, who has brought the Germanic faction. Now, Spartan Leonidas has got 6 archers, 5 chosen axemen, 3 berserkers, and 6 cavalry. Okay, if we just have a look at the chosen axemen there, you'll see these guys are effective against armour, and they can cut wide swathes through heavily armoured troops, so make no mistake, these can be battle winning troops. Okay, then you've got the berserkers. Now these guys have got effective against armour maces, and they bring a massive fear factor, and they've got 2 hit points. Remember, these guys are based on real historic characters that used to either have mental health problems, drunk, or had a cocktail of drugs before they went into battle, and they literally went berserk when they went into battle. And there are tales saying that both friend and foe gave them a wide berth in battle, because once they went into berserk mode, they would kill both friend and foe alike. There are tales saying that after battles, these berserkers were seen running around the battlefield completely naked, covered in blood and gore, screaming like banshees. So they must have been a formidable sight to see in the day. Back in the day there, I see Spartan Leonidas got his chosen archers. They've got good long range. These guys are so tough, when they run out of arrows, you can use them as light infantry. And then he's got the Gothic cavalry there. These guys, if you have a look at the specification of Gothic cavalry, you'll be surprised on how good this cavalry is. Very underestimated cavalry. So I think that's a pretty good Germanic army there that Spartan Leonidas has got. Now, bearing in mind that most of the players here don't usually bring barbarian factions, so these are experimental armies. And then next player we've got is Demon, and he's got 6 chosen swordsmen, 4 head herders, 6 chariots, and 4 slingers. Okay, so let's have a look there. So you got the chosen swordsman. We've seen these guys in action before. If you put good upgrades on these chosen swordsmen, you'll be surprised on how tough they can be. And then you'll see that he's bought slingers. You don't often see slingers bought in a modern Britannia army, so it'll be interesting to see how well these slingers do during the course of the battle. As I say, most of the players here don't ever bring barbarian factions, so this is all new and experimental armies for most of us here. Okay, and then we got the head hurlers. Remember, these heads are effective against armour. They bring a fear factor, and make no mistake, these guys can devastate heavily armoured troops with those effective against armour heads. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the chariots here. Now, if you notice here, Demon's got the Barbarian Warlord chariots. Remember, Britannia's got 2 types of chariots. They got the ordinary heavy chariots that I think are about 580 denarii each, or these Barbarian Warlord chariots that are over 1,000 denarii each. The difference is the ordinary heavy chariots have only got 3 hit points. These Barbarian Warlords have got 5 hit points. And over the years, I've tried them both, and these Barbarian Warlord chariots are a lot better. Those 2 hit points really do make a difference. So that's a pretty good Britannia army there. It'll be interesting to see how well it does. Okay, our next teammate is myself, who has bought the Gaul faction. Okay, now I've got 8 chosen swordsmen, 6 foresters, and 6 cavalry. Okay, so there's my chosen swordsman. As I said before, you put good upgrades on chosen swordsmen, and you'd be surprised on how good this infantry can be. Okay, and if you notice there, I've got 8 upgrades on my chosen swordsman, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, and then we move on to the Forester Warband archers. Now these guys have got a unique ability where when they stop moving, they just disappear. They hide on the battlefield. So whatever battlefield you're playing on, when these guys aren't moving, the enemy can't see them. They disappear. Also, the other unique ability these guys have got, their alt attack weapon is an anti-cavalry spear. And we used to have a player in the Brotherhood called Get Jacked Man was his name, and he used to bring the Gaul faction, and very often you'd see enemy troops, cavalry hitting his chosen archers here, these Forester archers, and they would just pull their alt attack spear weapon out, and next thing you know, your cavalry would be killed and routed. Okay, now these are the only archers in the whole game that has got an anti-cavalry alt attack weapon. And they use it very well. And then you've got the Barbarian Noble Cavalry there. I think I've got 8 upgrades on the cavalry, 2 experience, stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Be interesting to see how well this Barbarian cavalry does. So there's my Gaul army there. As a lot of you know, don't ever bring Gaul, I don't think, so it'll be interesting to see how well that army does. Our last teammate is Brotherhood member Man 2. The Man 2 has got 5 axemen, 9 archers, and 6 of the innocent headhunting maidens. So there you go. There's his axemen there. Now these guys are very poor infantry. That's why you don't see Scythia on the 31k battlefield, because no matter what upgrades you put on these axemen, when they go up against any decent infantry at all, these guys will just be killed and routed. So you got the chosen archers there, and then we move on to the headhunting maidens. Now these girls might look quite innocent and they wouldn't hurt anybody, but let me tell you that cavalry versus cavalry, I believe these are the best cavalry in the game, with their effective against armor axes. Okay, those effective against armor axes make these girls a deadly, I would say the deadly women of Rome Total War. And as I say, cavalry versus cavalry, I think these are the best cavalry in the game. They don't do that good against infantry, but as I say, against cavalry, they can be very, very effective. Okay, so there's our team there. As I say, it'll be all experimental armies for us. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Crypto, the host of this battle, and he has bought the Spain faction. Now Crypto has got 8 slingers, 10 bull warriors, and 2 cavalry. Okay, there's his Balearic slingers, and there are his bull warriors. Okay, now if you notice on their helmets, if you notice between the 2 horns on top of their helmets, you'll see the sun there. They worship the sun god. Okay, so that's why they've got those sun things in between the horns on their helmet. Now these bull warriors, I think, are about 300 denarii at least more than an urban cohort. And on paper, they've got 2 hit points, and on paper they look absolutely excellent infantry. But actually, when you get them into battle, they really underperform for the price that you pay for them. That's why you don't see Spain brought to the 31k battlefield, because these guys just underperform so much. You put them up against cheaper urban cohorts, and those bull warriors will rout. So that's why you don't see Spain brought to the modern day battlefield. Just to show you, he's got 2 fast moving cavalry units here. Now there's a reason he's bought these 2 fast moving cavalry units. Okay, and that is because he knows that he's opposite Germania. Now what's Germania got that he would be after with those 2 fast cavalry? And of course the berserkers. Okay, remember that if enemy units get close or touch any of the berserker units, that activates the berserkers, and then the Germanic general loses all control over them, and the berserkers just run towards the nearest enemy unit. Okay, so make no mistake there, that's why Crypto's bought those 2 fast moving units there. He's hoping to activate the Germanic berserkers before the Germanic general wants him to. Okay, and our next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman. Now Barclayman's got 5 warband, 5 archers, 6 chosen swordsmen, and 4 cavalry. And also, of course, it's the Dacia faction. How often do we see Dacia on the 31k battlefield there? So there you go, you can see he's got his warband light infantry there, but there's 120 of them. And as you can see, there's spearmen there, so they're going to be anti-cavalry. Then he's got his chosen archers and his chosen swordsmen. And there, let's have a look at his cavalry here, his Barbarian Noble Cavalry, and if you count the upgrades, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, fully upgraded Barbarian Noble Cavalry. He's got 4 of them there. Okay, so that's Barclayman's Dacian army. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Spearman, who's also bought Dacia, and he's got 4 archers, 8 chosen swordsmen, 3 phalanx men, and 5 cavalry. Okay, so that's an interesting Dacia army builder. Just have a look at the phalanx men here. There you can see they're carrying like 2-handed swords there. So it'd be interesting to see how well they do. I mean, as I say, these type of units we never see on a 31k battlefield, very, very rarely. And as you can see there, Spearman's got his usual old school cavalry formation there with his Barbarian Noble Cavalry. So that's an interesting Dacia build there. And our last teammate is Brotherhood member Mad King, who has bought the Thrace faction. Okay, now he's got 4 archers, 15 pikes, okay, and 1 cavalry unit. Now just look at the upgrades on these pikemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fully upgraded pikemen. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now we know that barbarian troops die quickly on spears and pikes, so our barbarian troops of our team have got to try and fight down those pikes to kill the man on the other end. And as I say, we know that the pikes kill barbarian troops quite quickly. Many years ago, Brotherhood member Sid tried to make a 31k army with Thrace. He tried all different combinations, but in the end their morale was so bad that no matter what combination you use on a 31k battlefield, they tended to rout. So it'll be interesting to see how Mad King does with this Thrace army. Okay, so there's the other team there. It's got the potential to be a really great battle. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, just as we thought here, you can see that Crypto is taking his 2 fast-moving general armoured units over towards the Germanic general there, Spartan Leonidas. Now, make no mistake here, that is what he wants to do. He wants to take those 2 fast-moving cavalry units over there and activate those berserkers before the Germanic general wants him to. Okay, you can see Spartan Leonidas can see what's coming here, and he's running his troops away from those fast-moving cavalry units. But make no mistake, that's where Crypto's going for there. He really wants to activate those berserkers there. To try and, obviously, if you can activate the berserkers before the Germanic general wants you to, then obviously those berserkers have just run after the nearest enemy unit, and the Germanic general, as I say, has lost all command over them, and it's kind of a waste of units there. So that's really why Crypto wants to do that. Can you see Crypto split his 2 fast-moving cavalry units up here? Going to try hitting them from one side to the other. You can see that Spartan Leonidas has took his heavy cavalry out there to try and neutralise those 2 cavalry units. But as I say, fast-moving cavalry units can always outrun those big, heavy armoured cavalry units there. So as you can see here, right, you can see this unit here coming down. Now, is he going to hit those berserkers? Is he going to activate them? Okay, as I say, you can see Spartan Leonidas there moving those berserkers forward into his infantry there. But you can see this fast-moving unit there moving towards them. And you can see Spartan Leonidas now is moving his cavalry over towards that one unit in behind his infantry. But can you see the other fast-moving cavalry unit there moving in on those berserkers here? Now, if he hits 1, he could hit 2 there with the impact there, and he could spark these berserkers off. He's getting really close now. Get ready, is he going to hit them? Spartan Leonidas is just going to run his berserkers back into his infantry, and bang! That cavalry unit just missed those berserkers just by a fraction there. Oh my gosh, Spartan Leonidas was so lucky there. He managed to get his berserkers just out the way of that cavalry unit, smashing into him there, and as I say, activating those berserkers. So Spartan Leonidas did well there at neutralising those 2 fast-moving cavalry units. Meanwhile, over here on our left flank, you can see Man 2 taking his Scythian chosen archers forward there, ready to target the enemy team when he gets into range. As I say, archers and slingers will be very important in this battle, as all units are susceptible to missile damage. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you can see Mad King using his 1 cavalry unit there to try and disrupt and kill as many of the Scythian archers as he can there. Okay, as you can see, making good use of that unit. Plus, you can see those fully upgraded Dacian Barbarian Noble Cavalry brought over here by Barclayman here as well. Okay, but make no mistake, as I say, those Scythian headhunting maidens, in my opinion, cavalry versus cavalry, best cavalry in the game. Of course, they're not very good at infantry, but against cavalry, they are really good. As I say there, you could see that the Scythian general is moving his archers forward there to try and target those Dacian chosen archers there. So I say, don't forget that the missile battle here between archers and slingers as well is very important, because every single unit in this battle, bear in mind it's all barbarians, are all susceptible to missile damage. So whoever wins the missile battle could then, if they kill all the other team's missile troops, they can then concentrate their missiles on the infantry of the enemy team there. So as I say, the archer battle here is very, very important. As I say, I've got my Gaulish forester troops there, forester archers are shooting in onto these chosen archers. Okay, so as I say, the chosen archers here have got good long range, they've got good defense as well, and as I say here, I've got my forester archers there, it's got good long range, and as I say, with their secondary weapon being the anti-cavalry spears there is pretty good. There you can see once again Mad King using his cavalry unit there to rout one of the chosen archer units there. And as I say here, you can see Crypto's brought his Balearic slingers forward here to target our archers. But as I say, you can see a lot of Man 2's chosen archers here units have been quite decimated by the combination of archers and slingshot that's been hitting them. But as I say, don't forget, as this is a barbarian versus barbarian battle, the missile battle, if you like, the archers and slingers battle is going to be very important. Right, let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say here, I've got my Forester Warband archers here targeting the enemy troops. If you notice here, Crypto's bought some Balearic slingers over here to shoot into my archers as well. I think everybody in the battle realises how important the archer battle will be, because as I say, if one team or the other can take out all the missile troops of the other team, then they can just concentrate their archer fire and slinger fire onto enemy infantry units. And as I say, all units are very susceptible to archer damage with a barbarian versus barbarian battle here. Okay. So as I say, my archers there, if they are attacked by cavalry with their alt-attack weapon, those anti-cavalry spears, then that should be they should be okay against any lightning cavalry attack there. Okay, so there's my Forester Warband there. You can see Balearic slingshots coming in on them there, as well as enemy arrows coming in to start killing my archers there. I think this is the first time, well, it is the first time we've ever had a barbarian versus barbarian battle on our YouTube channel, so just thought it's something a bit different here. And as I say, of course, when it's a barbarian versus barbarian battle, you will have a lot of archers involved here. And as you can see, Man 2's chosen archers there. He's got them in close, tight formation for more impact and more damage there. And as you can see there, he's routed quite a few of the enemy chosen archers there. Okay. Okay, right, now I just want to draw your attention here. Can you see my cavalry here? Okay, if you notice, I've taken them out of wedge formation. I put them into normal formation because they move faster in normal formation. And what I've noticed here is a group of enemy missile troops here with not a lot of cavalry near them. I think the nearest cavalry are somewhere over there. Nearest enemy cavalry are over there. Look. So what I'm thinking here, I'm going to do a lightning targeted strike there with my cavalry and try and take out these enemy missile troops here, and hopefully take out a lot of them before the enemy can get their cavalry over there to kind of neutralise the attack. Okay, so you can see my cavalry moving forward really quickly here. As I say, when you take them out of wedge formation and put them into normal formation, they move a lot faster, and there you can see, bang, smash into the rear of those routed enemy units there. There you go. So that's just what I wanted to do, take out as many of those missile troops as I could. Right, it's time to pull my cavalry back out. I can see enemy reinforcements coming in there, so time to move the cavalry back out now. Let's say you can see my cavalry now moving out. But I did what I wanted to there. I think I routed at least 3 of the enemy missile units there. So that's pretty good. Right, you can see here Demon's moved his slinger units forward here. Okay, as I say, you don't very often see slinger units brought to the modern day Britannia army, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do. I think they're quite cheap units there, so if they want to soak up the enemy's more expensive arrows, then that's okay from our point of view, and leaving the rest of our elite archers to concentrate on their elite archers if they want to concentrate on the cheap units of these slingers here. Okay, let's say Demon's got 4 of them there. He's moving them forward because, of course, slingers have only got short range in comparison to the archers. And the same way Forester Warband here are shooting into the enemy archers. You can see Spartan Leonidas there moving his Germanic army forward. Let's pause the game for a second. Okay, so as we know, Spartan Leonidas' tactic is to keep his troops back towards the end of the battle when he brings in fresh troops. He's got those 6 chosen archers there, fully laden with arrows that he hasn't used yet, which he'll bring into the fray. He's got his chosen axemen. They're fully intact as well. As I say, we know Spartan Leonidas' tactic is to keep his troops back to the end and then bring them in. We've got Demon's head hurlers and chosen swordsmen there as well, ready to bring him, and of course the chariots. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But as you can see, Demon's slinger units here are really getting quite decimated here by enemy missiles. But as I say, if the enemy want to use their elite archers on shooting these cheap units there and stopping them from killing our elite archer units, and I think that's okay by us. As I say, you can see a lot of demons units there have been absolutely decimated. You can see Spartan Leonidas got his axemen ready to throw into the fray there. And as I say here, you can see, as I say, Demon taking his slingers forward, trying to get the enemy to shoot their arrows into him, into his cheap units there. And as I say, you can see that most of his slinger units now have been routed, I believe, and he's only got a few men left in the units that he's got left. As I say, I've moved my Forester Warband archers forward there. And as I say, you can see the Germanic general there bringing his archers and axemen forward here as well. As I say, as we know, Spartan Leonidas, as we said before, his battle tactics is to try and keep his infantry out of the fray for as long as he can, and then bring them in towards the end of the battle. Here you can see Crypto's Balearic slingers there up against Mantu's chosen archers. Okay. Slingers can be quite effective against archers here, but I think that Crypto's slingers here are outnumbered by Mantu's chosen archers. So I'm thinking here that the chosen archers will win. Right. Okay, over here on our right flank now, you can see that Crypto is charging his bull warriors forward. Okay, now he's charging them into our Germanic ally here, and this is going to be an effective against armor axemen against the bull warriors, and bang, as they clash there. Okay, so now as I say, you've got these bull warriors now up against the effective against armor axemen there. Okay, if you notice there, Crypto didn't throw his pilers in first, he just charged his infantry straight into those axemen. Okay, so it's an infantry, straight infantry versus infantry there, right. Okay, so if you were a betting person, which way do you think this is going to go? Do you think that those Spanish bull warriors are going to beat those Germanic effective against armor axemen or not? You can see Britannia bringing his head herders and infantry over. You can see the enemy bringing reinforcements over to help Crypto here. So which way do you think this particular part of the battle is going to go? As I say, those effective against armor axemen do really good against heavily armored troops like those bull warriors. And here comes the chariots here, and bang, as the chariots charge in, bringing that big fear factor as well. And there you can see the enemy cavalry charge in there, and bang, as that cavalry charges in there as well. This is going to be, I think this could well be a pivotal part of the battle there. Look at those warlord chariots there, taking the morale away from enemy troops as well as bringing a big attack factor as well. Oh my gosh, those Spanish bull warriors have held well there against those Germanic effective against armor axemen and those chariots. You can see the Dacian cavalry charging in there against. There's my cavalry charging in as well. Bang! As they smash in to those Dacian cavalry and infantry. Okay, so all the chosen axemen have now been routed there by those Spanish bull warriors. Okay, now remember, Crypto, I believe, has still got all the pilers left. There you are, like you can see, he didn't throw any pilers in before he attacked those Germanic troops, so he's got all his pilers now to throw into our barbarian troops. And of course, as we know, barbarian troops suffer massively from any kind of missiles there. You got those Thrace pikemen there coming in behind as well, with those massively long pikes that our barbarian troops are going to try and fight down to kill the man on the other end. And we know pikes kill barbarian infantry really easily there. So as I say, you can see those Thrace pikemen there coming in that first formation. There's another Thrace formation in behind them coming in as well. But so as you can see here, there's a lot going on. There's Demon there with his chosen swordsman. I've got my cavalry and infantry in the fray there at the moment. Okay, you can see my Gaulish cavalry there attacking the enemy troops. And those bull warriors are there. And now you can see, as I say, those Thrace pikemen coming in behind the Spanish bull warriors there to strengthen the line. Okay, so as I say, as we all know, that barbarian troops die quite easily on spears and pikes, so we need to be very tactical here as we attack Thrace. If we hit them head on, we'll be playing their game. Okay, you can see I've pulled my Gaulish infantry back. I don't really want to fight those pikes head on. You can see the Scythian general there is attacking with his axemen there against those pikes. Okay, so those Thrace pike, that Thrace pike formation there could be a real problem. Look how long those pikes are for us to try and fight down with our barbarian troops. Okay, you got Dacian infantry out there as well. There's Mantu's axemen there, Scythian axemen, and I say, not very good cavalry, sorry, not very good infantry there. And you've got another Thrace pike formation up there as well. If you notice over here on our left flank, Man 2 is alt-attacked with his archers. You notice they've got their swords out, those little swords out, and have routed those Balearic slingers. Now what I'm thinking is, if he can get those archers in behind the enemy team there, okay, if he gets them in behind there, he can start shooting volumes of arrows into the rear of those engaged enemy troops. So that would be a good tactical move there by Man 2 if he does that. Meanwhile here you can see his headhunting maidens here are fighting those Dacian cavalry there. So that would be interesting to see what happens there. And the maidens look like they're quite heavily outnumbered there by cavalry and infantry. So it wouldn't surprise me if Man 2 tended to pull those headhunting maidens back from the fray there. As I say, they're good against cavalry, but against infantry they're not so good there. Okay, so as I say, you can see the Thrace pikemen there forming their main battle line there, and the enemy troops like are fighting around them. So this is going to be a really difficult one to call, I think. Okay, so here you can see that Spartan Leonidas has activated 2 of his berserkers. Okay, so those berserkers have now been activated, and they will run towards the nearest enemy unit. Okay, he's also got his archers and his cavalry there as well. Now bearing in mind he's lost all his infantry, so he's going to rely on those berserkers and his cavalry to do some damage here on the right flank. He may well get his cavalry around the right flank here and charge into the flank of those Thrace pikemen. That could be a good tactical move there. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I can see the berserkers coming in. So what I'm going to do is charge my infantry in with them. But just say you've got Dacian infantry as well as that Thrace infantry there as well, holding the line. But I can see the berserkers coming in, so I'm going to charge my infantry in as well. I wouldn't normally do this against pike units with barbarian troops, but I'm going to try and plough the way, if you like, for the berserkers to hopefully go through my infantry. With my infantry taking the pike hits there, and those berserkers charge through and might be able to get down those pikes and start killing the men on the other end there of those pikes. Okay, so you can see we're really charging in there. Now don't forget, Thrace morale is very, very poor, and now those berserkers have been activated. All 3 berserkers have now been activated. The Thrace morale is so low, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a lot of the units rout. As I say, you can see my Gaulish chosen swordsman and the Germanic berserkers are pushing in on those Thrace pikemen. You can see a Thrace pike unit has already routed there. As I say, here you can see further up the Thrace battle line here, the Britannia General doesn't really want to attack with his troops head on. And over on our left flank here, you can see the headhunting maidens there are in a real scrap with the Dacian infantry and cavalry. I've got my cavalry up there as well. You can see I've got my Barbarian Noble cavalry up there. Man 2's got his archers there. You've got them in close, tight formation for more impact and more damage. He's moving them tactically round the rear, but once they get shooting into the rear of those enemy troops there, they will be doing a lot of damage. And it wouldn't surprise me if he got some really good kills here, because he's used his archers so well. But here, this, as I say, could be the pivotal part of the battle here, as the berserkers and my Gaul troops there are pushing through there. We've kind of almost made a hole in the enemy battle line there between us. Can you see a lot of the Thrace units starting to rout now? Big units there, like, you know, there was lots of big, almost fully intact Thrace units there routed. This is how poor Thrace morale is, unfortunately, for the enemy team. Right, you can see the Germanic cavalry here charging in to those winded bull warriors of Spain. Okay, there you can see several of the Spanish bull warrior units there are probably going to start to rout. And as I say, now you can see my Gaulish troops and the berserkers here starting to attack down the battle line there of the enemy troops. You've got some Dacian infantry being thrown into the fray here as well. But as I say, here you can see the berserkers here. Now, if that Thrace pike line stays intact, they could kill all those berserkers there. So that could be bad news for us. But I can see a lot of enemy troops starting to rout now. If you look all over the battlefield, right, let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so the Germanic cavalry did manage to rout all those Spanish bull warriors. Okay, so that's good news for us. You can see, I think most of the Spanish troops have been routed. I've got my Gaulish infantry along with the Germanic berserkers there pushing in on enemy Thrace and Dacian troops. Let's say Demon here made a good move, not attacking those pikes head on. He's just kind of stood there making sure they stand there just in case he moves. Let's say he's moved his chariots here, attacking those Dacian infantry. And a lot of those Dacian infantry at that end are starting to rout. And at the rear here, you can see my battle damaged Gaulish cavalry at the rear here, okay? But I've spotted a target. Okay, now I've got very battle damaged cavalry here, okay? Now, should I chase away the routing troops, although I've spotted maybe a more tactical attack point here, which I'm looking at, okay, with my battle damaged cavalry. Now, what I'm thinking is, if I charge down this area here, okay, and smash into the rear of these engaged troops, aim for the furthest unit, enemy unit, and smash through there, and it would be a hammer and anvil attack. The berserkers and my Gaulish infantry being the anvil, and my battle damaged cavalry being the hammer. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to smash into the rear of those enemy troops, but aiming for the furthest unit away. So hopefully my cavalry are smashed through the enemy units there, and in a hammer and anvil attack, which will result in a lot of the enemy units being routed. Now that's what I'm hoping for anyway. Remember, the berserkers here are fighting, but they've also taken the morale away from enemy troops with their fear factor they bring. I think my general has just been killed. Right, okay, so here comes my battle damaged cavalry. Now remember the target I'm going for. I'm going for the furthest target away. Okay, you can see the Dacian general has turned units to face my cavalry, but here comes my cavalry now, and bang, as I smash into the rear of those engaged enemy troops. I'm pushing on forward here into the back of those Thrace unit, and as you can see there, we've managed to break the defence there on that flank of the enemy troops there. Nice hammer and anvil attack there, and you can see the Germanic cavalry being brought into the fray there by Spartan Leonidas. As I say, his favourite tactic, keeping his infantry and sometimes his cavalry out of the battle for a long time, and then bringing them in towards the end of the battle there. Fresh troops kind of thing. And as you can see there, most of the enemy troops have now been routed there. The concerted attack there by our troops, and it looks like our team has managed to go on to win this very unusual battle there. I think there's a couple of Thrace enemy units left there, but as you can see, it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle. So I'd say this was a very, very unique battle out of 530 YouTube battles that I've put on onto YouTube. This is the first Barbarian versus Barbarian battle I think we've ever had, and I say it's just something a bit different. It's a themed battle. I think Crypto just thought he would do it when he hosted the battle, just for something a bit different there. As you can see here, the battlefield is actually quite a small battlefield, really. It's quite condensed. And here you can see, as we go, you can see the Germanic axemen there, how many of them were killed there, and a few of the Spanish bull warriors. As we move up the battle line here, you can see the intensity of the battle here. Cavalry and infantry there, both together, laying dead. You can see how intense, there's certain intense parts of the battlefield here where you can see the most piles of dead. You can see a lot of British chariots there, and you move up here, you can see a lot of Scythian dead there, the yellow there amongst the other colours. So as I say, it's quite a condensed battlefield really there, I think. So it's an interesting, very, very unusual battle for us there. As I say, the missile battle in a Barbarian versus Barbarian battle is extremely important there. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. As I say, most of the people that bought these armies have never bought Barbarian armies before, so as I say, it was very experimental. And as I say, it was a clear victory, but as I say, it was an experimental battle there. Highest kills in the game goes to Brotherhood member Man 2 with Scythia, 1,900 kills for Scythia. So really well done to Man 2 with Scythia there. How often do you see that? And what I like is the diversity, like Gaul, Scythia, Britannia, Germania in our team. And you got Spain, Dacia, and Thrace in the other team. So a really diverse Barbarian versus Barbarian battle. Something really different there. So well done to Brother Member Crypto with his Spanish army. Thought he got some good kills there with Spain. Let's say very rare to see Spain on the 31k battlefield. Well done to Barclay, man. Might not got the kills that he wanted to there. And well done to Spearman. He probably didn't get the kills he wanted to either. And well done to Mad King with his Thrace army there. Just say, really well played, guys. It was a very unusual and interesting Barbarian versus Barbarian battle. Bearing in mind that most of us never bring Barbarian armies. It was kind of all new to all of us. And my Gaulish army, 1,720. Not bad for Gaul, I suppose. Quite pleased with that. As I say, Man 2, 1,900 with Scythia. Well done to Demon with his Britannia army there. And well done to Spartan Leonidas. Notice he kept his army out of the battle towards the end, but look at the kills that he got. Really good kills there. So I'll just have a look at the statistics of my Gaul army. My general, oh my gosh, my chosen sword general killed 118. Forester warband, not too bad. And the cavalry units there, a couple of them did quite good, but not brilliant. And the chosen swordsman, as you would expect, not absolutely brilliant really. But as I say, a very unusual battle there. As I say, it's the first time we've ever had a barbarian versus barbarian themed battle there, so it's very unusual. So I hope you enjoyed this unusual battle. Look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.